2 and 2. Okay. Hello, hello. Can you hear me so we can start? Welcome to another of the usual Live Solutions Fridays. Sorry I've been uploading this late days, but crazy holidays, crazy events everywhere, so I just took some time to work on some things. But hopefully we will begin with new covers, new things for next Monday on all over the year. I hope so. So hello everyone, please let me know if you can hear everything correctly, my voice, the bass over here. And we can start as usual. I will remind you this is an instance for you to just throw me your questions related to different issues that you may have related to bass, technique, positions, different theory oriented things, and mostly I'm waiting for you to give me some ideas on things to work on different songs that I've been uploading. So maybe we can take examples of things that we already have on the channel, right? So that's it. As the title says, and as you can see in the description, you can also have donations on. I will remind you that this channel is just supported by people only, and I've been really grateful to have all of the support that you people have been giving me. Really, a lot of people have been buying t-shirts. A lot of people have been becoming patrons. Patreon has been a little bit of a thing now because there's been some troubles with the page and all that, but Patreon still is the main way of maintaining this channel. So if you want to become one, please consider it. And that is all that I have to say for now. So hello to every one of you coming into the live chat. I will be reading you in a while. Mageso Feliciano, No C, Ethan Presley, etc, etc. I will be reading you now. So for example, Ethan Presley says, how long have you been have you played bass, and what was the first instrument you played? Okay, I began with guitar a while ago now. I was about 12 years, and I was just interested in guitar because most of us maybe are really interested in guitar at first because it's the most flashy instrument for sure. I always say that I didn't even knew what bass was when I pick up a guitar, really. And maybe it's the case for you, I don't know. But yeah, so it's been a while. I've been playing guitar for a long time, but I began with bass for about 7 or 8 years, something like that. But yeah, this instrument, it's the one that I really can say I can defend myself into. For guitar, I'm just really functional. I don't know. I just like this instrument, and of course you can know it because I just upload bass, right? I always say that the main goal of this channel also was having other instruments on, guitar, drums, but now I have so many commissions related to bass that I don't have really the time to waste on other instruments, and I really love bass. So, and hopefully you also love it. Okay, what else do we have over here? How are you doing, man? I would like to know your influences on your playing. I have a lot of contemporary influences for whatever music really now, but I could tell you that mostly Red Hot Chili Peppers was one of the most important things to discover in my young age. Maybe for you it was really because of the function of the bass and many things that all the time I'm talking about. But now I'm never thinking about one influencer. Really, I need you to think also as a teacher to have all the influences that you can have, whatever genre, whatever thing. You need to be more open now if you're beginning to be a lot mature with your instrument. You really need to take influences for whatever place, really. So I don't have really clear influences right now. I just pick up a really good artist, a really good bass, some things over here, over there. Now I'm a little bit influenced by Oriental, actually, or J-rock influenced things, because it's just what I'm playing a lot right now. But it may be other things later. I'm really influenced by jazz now because I'm just playing a lot of jazz and many other things. But okay, more questions. Okay. By the way, I'm just going to say a little thing in Spanish because I always have to remind the guys. Intentaré mañana también hacer un live en español, como también los he dejado de lado, así que pronto también tendrán más respuestas en español, ¿ok? Para los que están ahí en español. Ok, what else? Bass is easier than guitar, true or false? That is one of the usual questions that many people tell. And I don't know really. I think bass is really hard to master. Maybe guitar is not. It's a little bit not that hard to master, I would say. You can just practice a lot of things, but bass in general, to become a great bassist, you need to get a little more into theory, a little bit more into knowledge of a harmonic instrument, and because bass behaves as a lot of instruments for me. And let me give you this example. I don't know. Bass can be really melodic if you want to. You can apply melody really easily to get into things. I always give you the example of Flea, because Flea, I think, is very melodic in his way of constructing lines and whatever. But you can also need to know the chords that you're playing on to get into your chord tones, to playing the notes that compound the chord, and to create stability on the harmonic part. But also you need to create a good singable bass line, a melody that you can actually remember to create a good song, if you want to get into more of the popular aspect of it. Also, you have rhythm, because you need to be really rhythmic to get it into a good groove with your drummer. So you need all of that really rich rhythmic feel that you need to get to be a good bassist. So you already have 3 different aspects that are really important, and that's why I really like bass, because it's just, for me, it's kind of like the key that glues all together in your band, in your rock band, in your whatever band. Really, it's a lot of aspects that you need to control. It's a more of a directing instrument than any other, I would say. Okay. What else? Yeah, about requests, Mr. Spaghetti it's a little bit mad. I don't care if you get your request or whatever, but I'm not going to pay attention to you if you're just throwing me requests right now, because this is just a platform. This little hour is just a platform for questions and answers. Okay. If you want to leave your request, you can do it in whatever video, really. Okay. So, thanks for answering my question, says Ethan. And I have another. Let's see. I play bass with my thumb for plucking the notes, and I was wondering if you have any tips for playing, how you play and how most people play. Okay, let me read that again. Another question. My thumb for plucking the notes. You mean it like that? Maybe, I don't know. Like doing it like this. Okay, there's a lot of different ways. Maybe we can talk a little bit about that. I don't know if that's entirely what are you referring to, but I'm just going to take your question to get to the first topic maybe, and that is different styles. Maybe we can talk about plugin styles. Why not? So I would say there's no standard for all of this about the right hand. I mean, if you want to play like this, you need to have some rules to become a better executioner of the notes and whatever. But there's this style of playing that is the usual plucking with the index middle, maybe index middle ring fingers for your 3 fingers or whatever. But you have this, right, with your thumb making a sort of a kind of like a grip to maintain notes well tied together and not getting a lot of noise. Moving your thumb, I always recommend not maintaining your thumb over here, or maybe you can actually use your thumb like this to kind of like mute undesired noises, right? But yeah, there's a lot of basses that also use different positions to play in the right hand, and a very common is just using your thumb to play notes. Even you can use thumb down and thumb up to create kind of like a picking kind of like a complement. Instead of using a pick, you can do something like this. For me, it's not that good. I don't know. I don't like it that much, but there's a lot of guys that use it. It's okay. And you can also create different things, because when you acquire this position, you can play thumb down, thumb up. You can also play with your index over here, kind of like creating triplet motions, something like that. It's maybe good for getting some interesting things, and also with this position you're more comfortable to get into slapping, right? Because it's the same hand position, more or less, so you can maybe play over here and easily come back to play just slap. I always suffer a little bit when I have to change from this position, right, into my slapping position. If I have to kind of like go into a slap and fingers really quick, it's a little bit hard, right? So that's a good option actually if you want to, if you have some passages that have a plucking and then some slapping, it's good. And it also gives you a lot of options to mute notes. Usually when you have to mute a lot of muting, not being understood as ghost notes, as many people think mutes are ghost notes. For me, they are not. Muting for me is just dampening the sound of the note itself. So if you have no mute and you have mute, the usual or maybe I don't know. Something like that. For that, it's really interesting because you can mute with the side of your hand in this position and just go with your finger. So you have different types of sounds that you can get with different types of positions over here. For me, plucking in this way, it's a lot more straight, a lot more. You can get a lot more attack with the tip of your fingers over here. Even if you go like this. But with your thumb, it will never be that sharp probably, but you can get more of a different feel, right? Maybe if you want a more bassy feel or tone, you will maybe need to go with your thumb because it's a little bit more rounder, a little bit more soft probably. If you're not that accustomed to play with the tip of your thumb, it's a little bit more soft, so you can play things more bassy like this. I don't know. If you go I've seen a lot of reggae guys doing it with the with the thumb and many other different aspects. You always need to kind of like experiment a lot. And I wouldn't say there's a standard, as I said, of positions, but there are better positions for me and more ergonomically correct, probably. But after a while, I've seen a lot of guys slapping in different ways, and it's kind of like a more of a personal thing that you need to acquire. Um, as long as you're not damaging yourself that much, I would say go for it. I don't know. But yeah, that's what I wanted to say about different types of plugging. I don't know if I'm missing some. You can let me know. But of course, you have the peak, and you have different types of peak and different types of picking. A more of a classic style of picking over here, more in the neck, right? Maybe with a dampening over here with a little bit of a piece of foam to get the vintage sound, or maybe more of a metal thing or more rocky thing playing over here. Or whatever, right? But all of that things you need to always take in consideration when you're going to confront a different piece. The goal most of the time is not thinking about what I like the sound to be, and more thinking about what I want the sound to be, to create more relationships with the other instruments, more coherence with the genre itself. I'm not going to play metal like this, right? It would be really soft for what I want. I really want to get more aggressive tone, more of that. So you need to get a quite big palette, I would say, of sound, right? So okay, that's it. That's it for my things that I had to say. But yeah, whatever. What other questions? Let me know. Are you going to talk about slapping? I usually avoid me trying to get into slapping because I say it every time, you know. But if you want to have if you have a question, you can let me know for sure. But yeah, about slapping, it's just I've talked about each stream. You can go back into it and go into it. Maybe I'm going to talk a little bit about after I read this. I think I have a little donation by Mr. Walker Slot. Thanks so much. I don't have a question, just wanted to donate and say thank you for all the videos. Thanks so much, Mr. Slot. I think you're a patron also, and my patrons are, I would say, are the best people I know for now, because for being that supportive to maybe a channel that or someone creating something that it's not actually just working for you, but is giving other people the content. I do it also. I'm also a patron of other guys, because I think I need to support things that I think are good. So thanks for that. Thanks for having that point of view in how to support your artist, because many people kind of like confront me actually in the comments, and they say things like they are the bosses, like they're the boss of what I'm doing. Like they are kind of like I owe them the whole thing that I'm gaining and whatever, and I don't think that's the way of viewing the struggle of an artist, really, because we need to support them more than anything. Okay, what else? Can you talk a bit about the minor pentatonic? This is a good question. Okay, Kevin Dubrovs. I don't know how to pronounce your names. Sorry. I will remind you of also that I'm not a native English speaking guy. If you're new to this, you maybe already figured it out, but I have to struggle with my language. Okay. Can you talk a bit about the minor pentatonic? So let's talk a little bit about that. Let's say minor pentatonic. Let's write that. So the pentatonic scale is just what the name says. It's just 5 notes in a scale. Most scales have 7 notes, right? This is just composed of 5, and it's kind of like the base of many different cultures approaching into the music history of a culture. You always have presence of the pentatonic scale because it's easy to sing, easy to create harmony, easy to do a lot of things, and easy to rock. Actually, easy for rock, easy for many rock riffs that you can encounter in whatever popular music. Actually, it will probably be pentatonic, or it will probably be major, minor, but most of the time it's really centered on this. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a little lesson on pentatonic. We're going to start actually with major pentatonic, and then we're going to throw into minor. Major is always the most important to figure out, because from major comes minor, really, and you need to understand that, because minor, finally, it's kind of like a mode of major, like all the other modes. Finally, when we talk about minor scale, we're talking about Aeolian, and that is just one mode of 7, right, from the major scale. I like to understand it that way, because the major scale is just historically the most important scale of the Western world, right? So minor pentatonic. From major pentatonic, your major scale is just like this, right? C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. So we just need to select 5 notes to create the major pentatonic scale, and we're just skipping the F and the B. Coincidentally, those are the notes that create the unfamous trident, or that interval, right? That is quite dissonant to sing and all the other things. Maybe that's a theory on why people liked more to get into the pentatonic scale, because we're missing those notes that may create some dissonance. We're having less dissonance, so we're skipping the F and B to create major pentatonic, and it's just C, D, E, G, A, and back to C. So it's 3, 5A, 2, 5D, 2, 5G for a basic position of the major pentatonic. And this is also really used, major pentatonic. It's kind of like the same. Again, it's relative to minor pentatonic, and it may be used at the same time or not, but it's really, really important. So if we take these notes C, D, E, G, A, C, and just begin this whole pentatonic scale from A, we'll instantly have this: E, C, D, E, G, and back to A. Okay, sorry if I take a time while I just figure out the notes, because I have to convert, as I always say. I'm not used to American notation really that much. I usually say La, Do, Re, Mi, Sol, La, and all the other things, so sorry. But yeah, A, C, D, E, G, A, back to A. And this is the quite usual model that most of you may know. I don't know. It's just 5/8 on the E, 5/7 on the A, 5/7 again on the D. Okay, always with your little finger over here. Okay, this is the model. Never like this. Okay, your little finger you need to begin to start using. I will always remind you of that. So this is a good pattern to start, and you can actually create a lot of things just going around this. Okay, minor pentatonic, and from the minor pentatonic actually comes the minor blues scale, and it's just adding one note, and that is D sharp or E flat, really. It's kind of like a passing note to create the blues feel, and that is just one of the notes that you can denominate blues notes, because you have others, but this is the most usual blues minor pentatonic blues scale. Right? So if you manage to know this scale, and actually you can have it in a lot of positions, if you already know this pattern of scales, you can replicate this in different parts of the bass to create different registers. So with only this position, actually, you have this, but you can repeat it over here. The same positions, but just skipping from this A to create the same position, A. You can go over here. Same notes, same position. And even over here. Or whatever, right? So if you know already this pattern, you can mess around a lot with it, actually. And I will show you really quickly, okay? I will try to show you. I'm just going to throw some chords over here. Let me see if I can do it quickly, okay? But just using this position, you can actually achieve a lot of things. Okay, let me see. I'm just going to go with some chords over here. Let's say we're going to make something in A minor 7, I don't know. A minor 7 over here. I'm just using a little software to create some chords. Okay. A minor. Just going to repeat this chord, okay, so you get the idea of it. And I'm just going to play the scale so you get a little bit of the sound. It's just minor pentatonic. Just going over it. But obviously, if you're thinking about in your bassist mind, you need to get kind of like a bass feel, right? So maybe we can play with this. And again, I'm just playing notes of the minor pentatonic scale, okay? And I just can move around, as I just said. And I'm not adding the blues notes. If I'm just adding a little bit of the blues notes, it can sound a little bit more interesting. I don't know. Let me just do it in a different time, maybe with a little bit of a drum beat. Why not? So it sounds a little bit more interesting. I'm just going to add some drums, okay? Please prepare your questions. I'm sorry if I'm not paying that attention to you, but I just wanted to say something about this. It's interesting, okay? just created a little bit of a drum thing. Okay, there we have it. So again, going to repeat the same thing, but just with the same pattern, but using a little bit of the blues notes. So again. Okay, you can already figure out that I'm never stopping in the passing note of the blues note. I'm never doing something like this. Because you get a lot of dissonance. This is just a passing note, okay? Again, same thing, okay? So having to know a little bit of that pattern, that scale, you already have a lot of power on what to do in the context of a minor chord or even a major chord if you want to be a little bit bold, mostly in context of blues, rock, and many other things. But usually when you're confronted with a minor chord, and most importantly, maybe the 6th grade of whatever key, okay? So if we're in C and maybe playing something in C or here, we're going to G, I don't know. And then we're confronted with A minor. And back into, I don't know, D. In that A minor of C, it's really, really cool to have a little bit of the blues sound, but you can play around it and see if it fits in other contexts also, okay? I'm not just going to extend that much over this, but maybe I give you a little bit of a taste of what it is to know your scales, right? Okay. I know I missed a lot of questions, so let me know. What do we have over here? Okay. Can I play the minor pentatonic scale starting with every note, for example C sharp? And that is really, really important thing that I actually needed to say. Of course, you can. Okay. Sorry if I didn't mention that out, but I'm most of the time thinking that it's kind of like a common knowledge, and it's not. It's not a common knowledge. You can, all these patterns, you can just take them and just copy them and paste them in whatever note, beginning in whatever note. And that is the interesting thing of bass. You can just have the same models picked up, and you didn't even have to think about switching one note. So you can, if you want to go for D minor blues pentatonic, or G minor, F, right? So you can go and experiment with that. You can hopefully try to go around the circle of fifths. If you're not familiar with the circle of fifths, you can already begin searching about that. And a good exercise always to practice whatever thing is to practice it in all the keys, all the 12 keys of the Western system, right? So you can begin with C minor blues. Maybe you can go clockwise or counterclockwise around your circle of fifths. You can go from C minor blues to G minor blues to D minor blues A and E, B, F sharp, and all the things. You can go like that, or you can go backwards from C to F to B flat, E flat, whatever, right? You can do that exercise and it will give you a lot of knowledge on what to do, and beginning also to understand where the notes are, and that is also really, really important, right? But yeah, what does the 7 in C minor 7 mean? This is another good question, Mr. Kevin. Thanks for having all those questions. Okay, never be actually worried if the questions you think are too easy or too easy to understand, or if you are too hard. Please just throw your questions, okay? We're not here to judge whatever thing. What does the 7 in C minor 7 mean? And that is just the 7th of the chord, in a really short way to say it. But now, for understanding that, you maybe need a little bit of context, okay? When we construct chords, we just stack thirds one on top of another. So if we want to have a C major chord, we just want to have first a C, and that is the name that gives the chord its name, right? C. It's over here. You can find a C over here in the third fret of the A string. Then you need to stack thirds on top of it diatonically, and that means on the key of C. The key of C is just C, A, the scale of C, right? C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C again. So you need to stack thirds on top of your C. Thirds are just the interval that it just means really to skip one note and just go into the other, just skipping two notes. But in a really correct definition, a third might be a minor third or a major third, and that is just intervals. Another thing that you need to really get your eye into if you want to progress a little bit, is to know what are intervals and how to approach them, and what are the differences between minor and major intervals. But it's just distances between notes, okay? So a minor third is just a tone and a half, and a major third is just 2 tones of difference, okay? So it's C, D, 1 tone, from D to E, 2 tones, and there you have your major third, or C, D, E flat, just 1 tone and a half to get your minor third interval. Knowing that, you just need to stack thirds on top to create different chords. For a C major 7 chord, you need to stack 3 notes on top. C and E, the first third, then the 5th that comes from a third from the E to create the triad that we already all know probably. It's just C, E, G to create a C major chord. So it's C, E, G, thirds one on top of another, or the tonic, the third, and the 5th, as they are usually named, okay? And when we're thinking about 7 chords, we're just adding another third on top of the 5th, okay? A major third on top of the 5th, it's a B, right? Or just the major 7th. And the major 7th, more easy to understand, is just a semitone down from the tonic, but 1 octave up, actually, okay? So it's just a semitone below the octave. You can also think about it like that. So it's C, E, G, B to create your C major 7 chord. And for a C minor 7 chord, it's kind of like the same, because you have your tonic, your minor third to create the minor third, the 5th, same 5th as the major chord, and you need to have a minor 7. And a minor 7th is just a tone below the octave, okay, from the tonic. Okay, I know maybe I'm going too fast, but first I would encourage you to go and know a little bit about intervals, because it's just that. It's just understanding what intervals are and then just going around with your shapes, really. But that is a really short way to understand it. C minor 7 chord, okay? And whatever other minor 7 chord will have always the same construction again. Tonic, minor third, fifth, minor 7, for example, in A minor 7. Okay. Okay, what else? Let me see. Okay. To create simply bass groove, what notes do you use? Root, third, seventh, or? Another good questions, actually. And it just really relates to what I was just saying. One of the ways for me to identify, I would say, a bassist that knows a little bit more of their shit, you know, it's to understanding what are the harmonic richness that you can achieve by hearing him or her, I don't know. And that it means knowing a lot to going out of your root, going out of the name of the chord. Many bassists will just know the name of the chord and will just go, okay, it's a C major, let's play C. Now it's G major, G. It's a D minor, D, or major, I don't care, I'm just playing D, I'm just playing the tonic, right? That knowledge fits for a lot of genres and there's no trouble with that, right? But after a while you need to get more into it if you want to create better grooves, probably. Okay, maybe you can create a good groove just with your tonic. Same example, A minor. If you play around a lot with your rhythm richness that you can achieve, you can even get a little, maybe a nice groove, I don't know. I was just playing the root and just trying to make interesting things rhythmically, right? That may be interesting to work out even, but you need a little bit more of language, a little bit more options if you want to get maybe more interesting things. Again, same A minor, you can apply and just go with your tonic, but also you can apply your octave, and the octave is just the same note, just in higher register. Okay, and from that, you can also begin to create different things, even with that. But you need to get more into it, right? So again, same quick sample now, adding the tonic and an octave. Okay, sorry. Over here. Right? Apply it into whatever chord you want. Usually you're safe when you're playing the tonic, because you already need to know the name of the chord, right? Nothing else. Because the difference comes when you try to understand what's the difference between minor and major, minor 7, major 7, all the other thirds that you're stacking on top and you're not actually caring about in your own line, right? So the other usual thing is adding a fifth, and and the fifth, it always has the same model. Again, this model, tonic fifth octave, kind of like the power chord mode of the guitarist, the usual power chord mode of many songs actually. Those are really safe because of the same thing. Tonic, root, root or tonic fifth and octave are always present in whatever chord most of the time. Okay, major and minor chords, basically, they are always present. But the difference comes when you need to create or make a drawing of the harmony with your bass. You need to understand what's the difference between a major third or minor third, right? And knowing that will give you miles, I would say, of different things that you can do. But again, same example, A minor, but now with a fifth octave. Again, you can play this, and if the next chord is G, you can actually do the same thing. Now if someone says, okay, let's go to B minor 7, I don't care, I'm just going to play this. So from that part, you can actually have a really limited, and that is why I always think bass may be a little bit easier, and there's no problem with that. I like easy instruments for sure. I don't know why people are so obsessed with getting into playing and having that many knowledge to just play. And with bass, you can actually just play knowing the names of the notes, names of the chord, tonic, root, fifth, octave, and just go around with it. Maybe you will not be that appreciated as a good bassist, for sure, but you can do your job, right? So you can actually play with that knowledge, but we need to always get a little bit more of that, right? I would say, if you think you are a little less gravitated into having more language, more different things that you can do theoretically or whatever, you can also improve more even rhythmically, okay? It's really different to just go with eighth notes than just going with a good groove, doing something like this, trying to get more rhythmically interesting, as I said. So let me give you an example of 4 chords, right? I'm just going to try to do it like this. Let's see if we can. I'm just going to go with 4 chords, okay? Let's see if we can do this. Then we're going to go with D minor, right? And finally we're going to go with G. We're just going to copy the same groove over here, and we're done. So this is A minor, C, D minor, and G. Okay, I'm just going to write it out for you over here. So it's A minor, C, D minor, and G. That easy, okay? We're just confronted with C major scale, and we're just playing different grades of the C major key. That would be the 6th grade, the 1st grade, 2nd grade, and 5th. So we're here, okay? So what can I do if I'm just really I just want to just go around with it? I can just play the names of the notes, as I just said. I can play like this. Here it goes. A, C, D, G. Here goes. And that's it, right? How many songs actually you have heard, and that is just the goal of the bass most of the time, just marking your tonic, and they all go around with it, and you're just going with your tonic and just playing your eighth notes, right? And that is a good job if you are in context. If you're playing a rock band, I don't know, soft rock, pop rock, I don't know, many different genres will allow you to just do something like that, right? No problem with that. But what else we were talking about? Maybe adding a little bit of the octave and the fifth. So the models for that would be A from A minor. You have A over here, A, the fifth, and the octave. Same power chord. A, fifth, tonic, fifth, octave. For C, tonic, fifth, octave, 3-5-5. Again, for D, 5-7-7, and for G, 3-5-5 again. And there you have it. You have that knowledge now trying to be applied. The fifth of the chord, the octave of the chord. It's actually two notes, just repeating one, right? But now we can maybe add really different shapes and values, okay? First, I'm just going to play it with straight eighth notes and just switching between a tonic fifth. And then I'm just going to try to add a little bit of a more rhythmic interest into it, okay? Okay, here it comes. A, C, D minor, and now G. Here it comes. Okay, so that is just what I'm doing. Actually, it's not that hard. I know some of you are aiming to leave right now because I'm getting too theoric and all of that, but it's not that difficult to understand. First, understanding, of course, where are the names of the notes in the bass, right? Where do you have an A? Where do you have a C, a D, and a G? And then trying to understand all of that different shapes. After all, we're just applying one shape, and that is the shape of the tonic, the fifth, and the octave, in the same model for each of the same chords that we're just playing on the guitar, right? So please, if you have doubts around all of what I'm talking about, just go around and tell them, okay? You need to try to make some questions, okay? I know it may be a little bit difficult, but we can get it around, because this really, I say to you, this is key to play on a band, to play and create your own lines, to play on whatever song that you want to play. And that is that easy, really. It's just knowing the names of the notes and try to figure out some shapes, okay? But what are you people saying over here? I understand what he says, but I can't follow him, okay? Yeah, you can ask me whatever you want, okay? You can stop me if I'm going too fast. Please do that, okay? Okay. What else? Okay, someone says go all over the fretboard. I'm going to play the same thing, but I'm just going to give you the clues on where are the different notes. Again, I'm just going to play the same pattern. I know it may be a little bit easy for some of you, I don't know. But we can all kind of like get knowledge from all of this, okay? So where is A actually in and where is C, where is D, and where is G in all of the fretboards notes? An A you have actually open over here, right? Open A. An A over here in the octave of the open A. Same pattern. A in the 5th, 7th over here. Another A, 12th and 14th over here. Same repetition of this. Because when you get into the 12th fret, you repeat the same notes, right? 17th, no, 15th and 17th. Okay, it's the same of this. Okay, because again, from the 12th on, you repeat the same 12 frets. Okay, so you can go around with that, knowing all that, and just copy and paste actually this same shape again: tonic, 5th octave, tonic, 5th octave, tonic, 5th octave, tonic, 5th octave, again with C, with D, and with G, right? That progression that I actually playing, you can understand it as I said like C, but it's more of course like A minor, okay, because we're starting with A minor, so this is A minor natural. You need to understand it more like that. In that way, it's A minor, your first chord over here, you have the 3rd that is major, 4th that is minor, and finally 7th that is major again, okay? But you can understand it again as this being the tonic, C and D minor is the 2nd, G being the 5th, and this being the 6th. Okay, I'm just going fast with that harmonic knowledge because I'm going to go over it in another time. But for now, try to understand that, knowing names of the notes, shapes, and I'm just going to go all over the fretboard now, okay? So it's again A minor, C, D, and G. Hopefully you play with me, okay? Maybe just doing like this. You can play like this, right? A, C, D, and G. Now let's try to just playing the same patterns again. Okay, so again, let me know if you're not understanding something, but that's it, okay? If you have more questions, you can let me know. Maybe not even related to all of that, what I'm just talking about, okay? But again, I will say it again and again, if you master some of this knowledge, that will be really help for you. And I'm not just going around the most difficult part, and that would be trying to understand that there are different shapes for the minor chords over here, different shapes for minor chords, and different shapes for major chords, right? Over there. So if I were to just deposit all my knowledge that I'm just going to try to do now in this progression, you can see that you can maybe expand your knowledge a lot, okay, just by knowing all of this. I'm just going to play the notes of the chords and you will understand, okay? Then we're going to move on because I don't want to expand too much. But here it is. Whatever, right? So all of that that I was just playing was just centering right on the things that I just said to you, and maybe some other things, but all of those things were mostly notes of the chord, passing notes, and not even thinking about the scales that are implied in the chords. Actually, okay, that is also another thing that will give you more and more knowledge, okay? But yeah, I always extend too much related to this because I really think it's really important. But again, let's go into more basic things. If you want more things related to how to play, you can let me know, okay? Okay. What else? What else? Do we have more questions, or are we ready to leave now? You let me know. Some guys are just throwing shit to their bassist. I don't know. I know many guys that are really popular that will never go out of just playing tonic, fifth, and octave. Okay, and you can say whatever, but maybe they just go with their style, their own language. Maybe they just don't need more than that. That's okay, no problem with. But you need to compensate with other types of things also. You can compensate with different richness of tones, richness of rhythmic patterns. Again, different other things that can be part of a good bassist. Okay, it's not all just managing your harmony, of course, but it will give you a lot of different tools to work on. And if you are like me and you want to have a lot of tools to work with to create different styles and whatever, you will need to go with that, right? But I will read someone that Mr. Bassy Boy said, because I think I will share it, because he says music itself is subjective. So to say someone is the bass player is like saying mint chocolate chips objectively the best. That's an exception because it is right, and I share that. I really like mint chocolate chips, but yeah, it's true, man. You can't say which one is the best, because in music and in art, that is just having a mentality of American Idol, right? You're having too much your mentality centered on who's the best, who is the most talented, who's got talent, who's got the best. Okay, music is not like that, and I would say art, it's not like that. Okay, it's more like that, other things, but music is related to subjectivity, and it's related to what do you think is the best for you. Okay, so please leave that types of ideas soon, because the sooner you get that out, the sooner you will get mature in your philosophy, and when you get mature in your philosophy, you will get mature in your playing for sure. Okay. And if you don't like this stream, you can always leave, right? If someone is a little bit stupid over here, I'm actually going to block the guy, because I don't like people that are stupid in my channel. So if you think you're stupid, you can now leave. Actually, stupid in a bad way. You can be stupid in a good way, for sure. What else do we have over here? I need help. Why does my low B string on my 5 string sounds weird? I don't know what is weird for you, and I don't really know if I can help you that much. I'm not that good in 5 string knowledge, but you can let me know. Maybe be a little bit more specific on what is sounding weird for you. Okay. Okay. What else over here? Okay. Thanks for answering my questions. Where are you from? I'm from Chile. It's a country in South America. But I say it all the time. I don't really care where are you from. I would say the most important thing over here is another thing, and that is the why I'm not in the videos that are related to music. I'm not just trying to show my personal things, my personal abilities, and if you know my way of confronting all of this, I show my face when I need to show it and when I'm talking personally to you. But when the bass and the music is talking personally to you, this is what needs to be seen, right? Okay. Ernesto, por si acaso, también hago streams en español, así que esperen esos, por favor. ¿Por qué tanta gente en español si ya saben que después hago en español? No sean así conmigo. Y voy a tratar de repetir lo mismo que estaba hablando ahora, por si acaso. Por si tienen dudas. Okay, guys. I don't know if we have more questions for today, so maybe I'm going to leave. I think we covered some things, some interesting things for other people. So if you have more questions, you can begin saving them for next streams. Okay. Thanks to all of the guys that are kind enough to see this and kind enough actually to donate. And if you see some guy being an asshole over there, please don't pay attention to him and just throw the name and I will block and we will all be happy. I don't want bad elements on this class. I just want to take this as a class and I don't want bad elements, so you can let me know. Okay. So that's it for today, and we'll see you next Friday, I hope, for another class. And I'm going to try to make at nights, or at my nights, right? I'm just going to try to make a stream in which I just play around, because I just want to have some practice of playing around some progressions like I just did today, and maybe it will help you to get a little bit of an idea of what can you do. I don't know. Kevin says, I really respect all the effort you put into your channel. I learn a lot from you and you motivated me to play bass. You can watch my cover and judge me. Haha, that would mean a lot to me. I will check your channel, Mr. Kevin. Thanks for watching all of this, okay? Thanks to Spaghetti, thanks to all the guys, okay? I'll see you another time, and take care, okay? Goodbye.